Want to know the latest and hottest music hitting the airwaves? Don't be left out. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast. Jordan and Keith keeps you on the loop with everything you need to know.
Jordan
and Keith. From pop, rock, hip-hop, and the top 40. And we'll throw in news of your favorite artists, concert and tour dates, and so much more. Listen no further, because this is the gold standard in music podcast.
Recording this episode 4 years before it's actually released anywhere, it is the marvelous Golden State Media Concepts Music Podcast with Jordan,
Mariano,
Keith. Oh, and Keith, Captain Keith, King Jordan,
Keith Arano, yeah, be your celebrity
and magnificent
couple
Mariano.
name. We were just doing the Wu-Tang name generator for anybody curious. It's how Childish Gambino's name came out to be. And,
I know, I love it. It's awesome.
I am Amateur Wanderer.
I love that name.
Yeah.
And I am Bitta, B-I-T-T-A-H, Dreamer.
Visual lover.
Mariano, say that one more time, a little bit louder.
With a straight face, son.
Visual lover.
Visual has a Z in it, for those of you that were wondering.
Oh, did it? Oh,
yeah.
Visual?
Yeah.
Visual lover.
Yeah, so there you go. These are our Wu-Tang rap names.
Okay, so without further ado, by the way, that's how you introduce the show.
Right?
We have a couple albums to come out.
Amateur Wanderer.
For one would be Unified Highway with their self-titled album, Unified Highway.
Yes.
We said it the same. That was fun.
Yes.
We sometimes get in sync.
Exactly.
And our other album that we're going to be doing is Atmosphere's Fishing Blues.
Yes.
So, what do you guys think? First thing on the list, I'm just going to flip a coin.
Okay, maybe we should just make them wait for the Atmosphere. I know they want it.
Well, the coin actually said Unified Highway, so
there you go.
That works
right.
out.
Yeah,
so.
we're going to make you wait a little bit for Atmosphere.
I like those Atmosphere Unified Highway coins.
There you go. I want one.
So,
Yes.
I guess we could start off with Unified Highway, their self-titled album, a band that you could say has some alternative, some reggae, some electronic, some hip-hop,
yeah.
just all across the board. One song you could hardly recognize being from the same person if it wasn't for some similar vocals.
And so let me give you some background. So this is the new project of Eric Rachmani, who is the vocalist and guitarist of Revolution.
Revolution?
Yes. And renowned producer and DJ and remixer Amp Live, who is the former musical partner in the rap group Zion I of Zumbi. So Zion I, from Grouch and Zion I, Grouch and Eli and Zion I. Those
the
records.
Grouch.
Yeah, so Zion I is a great rap group out of Oakland, California, in the East Bay. They were amazing. I think they may not be together anymore because it says he's formerly of Zion I. So,
or maybe he just left and, is doing his own thing.
But yeah, this is their new project. And so so you got guitars and you got beats and pianos, just drum machine and just all different types of instruments and layers to this record. And it's cool. It's definitely a good fusion of reggae, electronic, hip hop, alternative, and soul. Yeah, and it's fused very well. What do you guys think?
I thought it was okay.
Really?
Yeah.
You said the nicest things, and here comes the anticlimactic. It's fine.
Well,
this is the beauty of the three of us.
No, I'm glad we all have opinions.
Well, the only thing that I found wrong with the album was some of I like reggae, but some of it I couldn't even really understand what these there was no real message in this album to me. There was no song where I could really even understand the lyrics enough to be that was really good. Yeah.
Even their cover of R.E.M's "Losing My Religion." Well, and I don't even like R.E.M's original version of that, but I enjoyed this cover of it actually.
Well, okay, there were a couple good songs, but to me, to call an album good, it has to be mostly good.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
And this one. This was
normally how people qualify good things,
right?
But a lot of this was since all these songs are so different, so I'll give them that. But it just seems like in whatever form of different, the reggae songs, we're just all right reggae songs, and the more kind of alternative songs, we're just okay. It wasn't anything great. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't anything great to me. I probably would forget about this album.
Wow! Ouch! Okay.
Wow, that's
and it looks like maybe the Zion I are still together because it looks like Zion I is on one track. So same thing coming.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Go
Mariano,
ahead.
with all due respect, I disagree with you and think less of you as a person. No, this was, I thought, no.
But that is with all due respect, right?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
The utmost, you despicable.
You visual lover, you.
Honestly,
I'll take it.
at some points, the album, and I want to say like the harshest thing I could say about this is, with these 4 genres, we just reviewed Love and Hate, that album that it transcended a lot of genres,
Michael
and I think it
Kiwanuka,
did it
yeah.
well.
Yes.
This
Like I
album,
said-
on the other hand, it feels like at some points the genres kind of go all over the place. When we did Michael Kiwanuka, we kind of thought this is something that it's almost like his own genre. That was something that we
Maybe
all agreed
creating his
with.
own genre. We still, that might still be happening.
I don't consider this creating a new genre, despite mixing in like 4 different elements.
See what I mean?
But that being said,
It was done very
there were
well,
some
though.
real high points for it. They
I
they
agree.
did it really well, not necessarily being on like caliber of Love and Hate, but still something that's worth paying attention to.
Well, and once again, this is a hybrid record, so it's not a reggae record, it's not a rap record, it's not an electronic record.
Depending on
it's
what
all
song you
those
listen
things.
to, you can
Yeah.
put on a song and you're
Right.
thinking, "Oh, this is a great reggae
Right.
artist." You change that
Right.
and you're thinking, "Wow, this is a great electronic artist."
I understand, but here's my point was Love and Hate was good because it was this new kind of fusion of everything.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're listening to reggae, then something else, something else. You're listening to reggae infused with something, and that's new, and it was really good. And for what it was done very well. This was like, okay, I'm listening to a reggae song. And amongst other reggae songs that we like Stephen Marley, it wasn't like that great of a reggae song, is what I'm trying to say. And then we listened to another song on that very same album, which it was not a fusion, it was just a different type of song, which we've heard better alternative songs this year. So it's just none of it was bad, but it just wasn't great, is what I'm, none of it stood out to me in that respect.
I definitely like the beginning, Unified. I love MySpace. I love that song a lot.
MySpace was a lot of
That's
fun.
a great song.
MySpace was one of my favorites on this album.
Yeah, and I like Stand Proud. Rainy Day in the Autumn. I like that. And I like the cover, Losing My Religion. And I'm an R.E.M. fan. I just don't like Losing My Religion. I am a fan of theirs, so don't get it twisted. But I like their version of it. I thought it was cool, and it came from nowhere. So I was surprised when I heard it. But I think this is like a good pop record, or a good record that may redefine where pop music can go, if that makes any sense in America.
It makes sense. I just don't feel the same way.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can dig it. And I guess the only thing about this thing for me is that, I enjoyed, the lead singer. I enjoyed Eric's voice, but sometimes I felt like it got a little bit repetitious with some of the songs.
Okay,
But I think it's a good album, though. I'm glad I bought this record. I didn't just review it. I bought this record. So
I do see where you're coming from. I mean,
it wasn't from my streaming service this time. It was just something that I wanted to have a physical copy of this. So.
Yeah, I want to be clear. It's not bad.
So how do you rate the record?
You wouldn't introduce this to anybody. You wouldn't say, "Hey, check out."
Yeah, I
Unified
would. It's
Highway."
not bad. It's just not great.
Okay.
I would introduce it, but
Every album's not great, so you're right. I mean,
Right.
there are good albums and there are great albums. There's a difference, definitely.
I would introduce it to someone. This is what I feel like. I would introduce this if I gave somebody 5 albums and this was one of them, and the other 4 was like a reggae album, an alternative album, and other kind of elements that this album had. They'd forget about this album amongst the other albums because they're all this, except in separate albums, only probably better.
But I gotta tell you put on that MySpace and you put on Stand Proud. I mean, those tracks go, man.
But you know what I mean? But it
MySpace
needs to be.
Really, I really like MySpace. I want to
MySpace.
see more of that version too. I mean, more songs like that one too. Actually, I mean, I like this whole record, but that's the one that drew me in.
Yeah, I liked MySpace the most, but that's not enough for me to
Okay.
really. So I'll rank this album at a 6.5.
I'd say it's
pretty
at
low for you. Okay.
I'd say it's at a 7 for me. I think that I agree with you. It's not great. I'd say Michael Kiwanuka, that was great.
Yeah.
But it is very much, to me at least, on the cusp of greatness.
Yeah, but to be fair,
there's a lot of things that
Michael's making a
gelled
record
well.
that's like a new genre for the most part. I mean, that's not easy to do.
Right, but that's what makes it great.
Yeah,
That's
right. I'm not sure if they were trying to do that with this. Like I said, I think this is
I'm not necessarily comparing those two together.
Okay.
There's a comparison point
Right.
to them because they're multi-genred. But with this, what I'm really saying is that album is great. This album is very close to being great. There's a lot of things that I like about it, but there's things that I think they could have improved on. But I think that
I agree.
Come next album, I'm very optimistic, and I'm
there's
hopeful.
a remix record already available too. So, but yeah. I agree. You see the potential. Like I said, I mean, it's a fun record.
And there's a lot of tracks, including MySpace.
Yeah, I like the record.
Yeah.
Huh?
Including MySpace. There's a lot of tracks. Like, I do intend on showing people this album.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Same
good
thing,
enough to
Kids
introduce
Design
people like,
Grouch.
hey, check out Unified Highway. This is, a pretty good band coming
Oh,
up.
yeah. I give it a 7.5.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just being harsh on it because I do like the record, and I'll even listen into the new records just in case. But it just we review so many that this just it
doesn't stand out amongst the crowd. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's what I mean.
Would you say that you're kind of like a dad that's like looking at it and saying, "You could be better, son. I'm hard on you because I love you and I expect more from you."
Not even a little bit.
Okay,
but it's it's a good album. It just was nothing special to me.
All right, yeah.
Like the Games album,
Although I like it better.
Once again, I respect you with all due respect. That being said, we got to go to commercial break, though.
Fine, be that
Yeah,
way.
I
Amateur
know.
Wanderer.
I hate to be the bad guy here. Next time, somebody else is going to have to man
Kung
this
Fu
thing.
Grip.
All right, so when we come back, we're going to be, reviewing an amazing, exciting album. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's terrible. We'll find out. Atmosphere's Fishing Blues. So you guys stick around.
to find out.
All right.
Always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. Jordan and Keith is Entertainment Tonight meets Access Hollywood.
I'm Jordan. The guy laughing, that's Keith.
Yeah, I'm Keith.
An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Salutations, fellow listeners of podcast. Here we are, returning again after reviewing Unified Highway's self-titled album, Unified Highway.
Yes.
Now we're returning to review someone who's very near and dear to me, an artist that I've always just enjoyed listening to growing up. This is Jordan speaking, because as my childhood, I loved it. Atmosphere, with his brand new album that just got released, Fishing Blues.
And Atmosphere is comprised of Slug, who's the MC, and Ant, the producer.
Slug and Ant.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Man, fantastic.
Yes. So Fishing Blues. This is their first album in how many years, man?
God, it's been a few. It feels like it's been a couple. This is the first Atmosphere album that I've heard about in a while, and didn't disappoint.
Me too, actually. But I remember liking Atmosphere from back in like 2004.
Yeah, no, me and Mariano liked Atmosphere before he was cool.
Yeah, I started listening to Atmosphere.
Oh, well, aren't you guys cool? Before he was cool. Listen to you. All right, so his first album in 2 years. Okay, so Southsiders was the album before this. Okay.
I tuned in way back when like Tony Hawk 2 or 3 came out, and he was on that, and then I found him there, and then I looked up his albums from there.
Was he on a Tony Hawk game?
Huh?
That is so cool. He deserves that. He
Yeah.
deserves Tony Hawk game. All right, so album Fishing Blues had a lot of features in it. Do you want to break down like the who's who on this album, at least a few of them?
Sure, definitely. So, I mean, on this record, man, I mean, where do we start? You have Cool Keith, who's also originally known from Ultramagnetic MCs.
That's not you, right?
Yeah, that is.
I know, I
Keith's
wish.
persona. He plays.
Yeah, that's Cool with the K. Yeah, Cool Keith. Doom, who used to be formerly known as MF Doom, Metal Face
Yeah,
Doom.
MF Doom. I remember.
He's
that.
awesome. He was originally from the group called KMD. So that's where he's from. I mean, and then you got the Grouch from Grouch and Eli, who's also from Living Legends, which is the same group that Murs is from.
Were you guys fans of the Grouch before?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I got into the Grouch off of G&E, the Grouch and Eli record. That's what got me into him.
There was an app that's still out, but they're not really updating anymore. It was called Band of the Day, and they would play. I think they'd put like a new artist every day, like on a little calendar to check out. And the Grouch was one of those people, and that's when I first discovered the Grouch, and I was a huge fan of him. He was a lot of fun. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he's pretty. Yeah, he's amazing. Like his stuff a lot. So
what did you guys think of this album, though?
I love this album.
I like it a lot too.
This is one of my favorites that we've done so far.
Really?
Yeah, I was delightfully surprised at how really good the production was. Because for me, Atmosphere has always been very hit or miss for me. Some stuff I like and some stuff I don't. But this album I liked a lot. So yeah, it's a long record too. Actually,
It is. Is it just me, or did this record start more like energetic and then end more kind of almost more like reflective, or
no, you're right.
right? Not that it was a problem. It's just something that I kind of realized listening to it.
No, you are absolutely right.
You know, there was a lot of things to like about the album. There was the features in it were a lot of artists that if you don't recognize, that's fine, because now you're going to want to start recognizing them.
Yeah.
And I have to agree. I think it's one of our favorite albums that I've done. One of my favorite albums that we've reviewed so far.
Yeah, me too.
And that says a lot, because we've had a lot of good music and we've done things that, I mean, commercially successful within our little reviewing status, but I'm going to go ahead and just say, safe to say, it's already going to get a 10 for me. Before we even get to that point, let me say this is a 10 album to me.
Wow, you never say that, hardly ever. So
I think that it starts off. I think you're right. It's almost like a ball rolling down the hill. It starts off energetic. It gets more energetic. It starts building up until it kind of starts sizzling out. Mm-hmm. But it's not a bad sizzle.
Yeah, it's not a sizzle so much as this.
It's almost like you're coming to a closing. Like
exactly.
He's preparing you for the end of the album.
Yep.
And it was so well made from the songs, from like the collaborations, to even just like little details. I mean, the album
lyrics
art,
were insane,
the lyrics. Yeah. I mean, everything about this album was gold for me. It was more than gold. This was a platinum album for me.
This album was very good.
yeah, I mean, I like it a lot. The songs I like are "Like a Fire," Ringo, Bezos, "Pure Evil," "Perfect," "Seismic Waves." Next in You, I feel so about, because the music is really sexy, but the lyrics are kind of disturbing. So, and I love When the Lights Go Out, featuring Kool Keith and Doom, MF Doom. And I like No Biggie, where he references Biggie Smalls. He says, "I'm not ready to die. There's no life after death." I like that. That was very clever to me. Yeah, and Chasing New York is cool too. This is a good record. Yeah, he put a lot of thought in this record. You know, he and Ant put a lot of thought in it. So, still quite not sure what the fishing blues are. There's like a metaphorical thing going on with that, like fishing for life, trying to find your way, I suppose, when you read those lyrics. And perhaps I'll get to those lyrics in a minute. But Pure Evil was really cool. He says, "When I woke up this morning, my only intention was to look at my reflection with mutual respect. Yeah. I know I'm more than just a badge and a weapon, but when you see me coming, you recognize my profession. You should believe that I'm going to leave an impression, even if it means I got to put my knee on your neck." Man was never meant for you to pass this test. The last question on this quiz is, what the heck do you expect, man? A little money made him want some protection, because a manny with no money made the money feel threatened. So, this is pure.
You didn't even there's no music accompanied by that, and you didn't rap that. It just, even then though, it still sounds like, ooh, that goes down smooth.
Yeah, I mean, that's Pure Evil. So that's a great track. I mean, yeah. I mean, if people didn't know, Slug is definitely an MC. He's definitely a lyricist. When he gets self-reflecting or self-reflective, it beams. It blows up. It's really good stuff.
It's beaming, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Bezos is cool too.
I think that this is my favorite Atmosphere album that's come out. I think he's topped himself.
Well,
really.
I think you might be right. This is one of his best records yet. I mean, this is a really good record.
I say that conflicted, but only because I'm thinking God, he's made so many things that I've just kept coming back to and.
So you've always liked all of his records? I mean,
for the most part, I've always liked Atmosphere. He's always been someone fun to listen to.
Yeah, he's always been in the green for me. If there's a few songs here and there that I don't like, which I really can't think of any right now.
I can't either, but I'm sure there are. I've never had the solid thought when I listen to Atmosphere more.
Like the hit to miss ratio is way in the
no, it's like
way positive.
I'm trying to think of like a famous marksman. He's basically that. He hits more than he misses.
A famous marksman?
Yeah.
George Clooney?
I'm pointing at you. That's all right.
Well, another thing, too.
You're
you guys
good.
Didn't know about this. Slug, the MC from Atmosphere. I mean, so when he's not doing Atmosphere, he likes to have fun and hook up with Murs and do the Felt series. And they have done 3 records, and the Felt records are Slug and Murs rapping together.
I've never heard.
Oh, really?
No.
And it's a tribute. One was the tribute to Christina Ricci, one was a tribute to Lisa Bonet, and then one was a tribute to
Tip of your tongue, you got this, Keith.
I know she's
Tribute
Rosie,
name.
Rosie. Give me 1 second here. I know
O'Donnell.
her. Nope. The other Rosie.
While Keith's looking
Rosie
up
Perez.
Perez. Okay.
Yeah. So
Famously known as the other Rosie.
I know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, I love her. Yeah. So. Yeah, she was the choreographer off of In Living Color, if you didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
The sketch show from the 90s,
Yes, she was
starring
a
Jim
choreographer.
Carrey.
Yeah, so they'll do these felt records, which is like their rap crush records. So there's like 3 or 4 of them. Let me find out for you. But yeah, so that's the other thing that Slug does when he's not doing Atmosphere. So you want to check that stuff out too.
I think I will, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exciting. And we're really, we're going to have to go to commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to finish talking about this. I just want to say, I think what this album was so good that I've checked out, like, I want to check out other featuring artists and more of them. Like, I haven't heard anything that Grouch has done in a long time. Same with MF Doom. And I think that's something I really want to check out now. Like, I forgot you guys are still here and you're still so talented, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So,
definitely. But this is a great record. So and for those who've been waiting these 2 years to get a record from them, this is the one you want.
I was going to say, it had been a while, and I hadn't realized until we,
it came up in conversation.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, Atmosphere, okay.
I'm still like thinking, like, when was the last time? I mean, but I've always revisited his albums. He's never somebody that became stale as I grew up, you know. So this is something that's it's adding to a legacy of, I think, someone incredibly talented. And when we come back from this commercial break, we're probably just going to keep gushing about that and getting right back into Unified Highway. So
sounds good.
You guys stick around.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
And we are back to GSMC Music Podcast. I think we've had a fantastic show. The last couple ones, because we've got to review a lot of great albums.
Yes.
And we just did Unified Highway, and Atmosphere's Fishing Blues.
Yes.
So, guys, this is part of the wrap-up show, so I guess we should ask each other deep questions that make us realize Atmosphere was really a good album that deserves a 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great record. I give it a 9.
I give it a 9 too.
Yeah, it's a good album. I like it a lot. Perfect, first of all, for a rapper to, and rappers do self-reflect and they'll talk about their character, but they rarely talk about their own flaws. Mm-hmm. And Slug does a great job of that in this song, Perfect.
Macklemore does.
I think Atmosphere does too.
Macklemore does do a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Macklemore he's exceptional with his self-reflective lyricism.
So does Kendrick, actually.
I think that's something that really makes an artist like hip hop rap next level to me, because when you do rap, when someone's doing something like along these lines, they're constantly having to build up this image, this reputation of how hard they are, how cool they are, because that's what rap kind of originated is showing how strong you can be. It's in a sense it becomes boastful.
It showed that, but it didn't. The origins of rap were, there was a blues aspect of rap and there was a party aspect.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely,
there wasn't a hardcore in the beginning.
And I'm not trying to make it seem like it's so simplified, but
there was like a b-boy aspect of rap at first.
Yeah.
I think showing strength in hip hop, it became a lot of it's now becoming boastful.
Well, when it became more gangster rap,
they call that strength. To me, that's more weakness. But I understand what you're saying.
Strength became weakness, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
It became a little bit more simplified. This though,
too hyper masculine sometimes.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. This is one of those Atmosphere, and this is why I've always loved him. And he kind of like Brother Ali, kind of like a lot of the other artists that we were just talking about, where you have more of an appreciation because they're showing their downsides. They're saying like, yeah, this is what's terrible about me. Like,
well, yeah, I was going to tell you. Yeah, so I was going to go into it real quick though. So for the song "Perfect," Fall from the sky just to learn how to fly. Don't even got to put me in the dirt when I die. I'm not perfect. I try. I'm trying to free my hands, grab the day by the throat. Got to get a grip, but I'm at the end of my rope. I'm not perfect. I know. And if I had a spare moment, I'd probably loan it to somebody who needed to hold it. Life's indecisive, might slice you open and show compassion and throw you back into the ocean. I'm trying to keep my faith on a path, but the landscape's full of danger flags. You can change your name and still live in the past. Daddy was the face on the package of zigzags. So,
Stuff like that. That's beautiful. That really is. If somebody I hated came up with that, I'd still I'd be resentful because you're the worst. But that was pretty good.
And Won't Look Back is a great song. It's got like this kind of country blues rap thing going.
Yeah.
With the singer on it. I like that a lot. And anybody that I've known talking about really appreciating where you are in your life. Looking at your past and saying, man, I'm glad I am where I am now. This is a very strong track. In my past, I've wished for something different from what's within my grasp. Now I've grown. I wouldn't trade my world with anybody that I've known. As a child, I try to find a way to be okay with how I smile. Now I've grown. I wouldn't trade my world with anybody that I've known. What do you say to that, man?
I don't know what to say. I guess I say that this is a 10 album.
I like that. I guess what I say to that is you see what hip hop could be.
Yeah.
And a lot of rappers are falling flat from that.
Yeah, exactly. To quote KRS-One, most rappers talk way too much, can't back it up with lyrics. Build your skills. So yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Yeah. So this album is a 9. Yeah, this is a 9 for me. But it could be a 10.
Me too.
9, 10. That's averaging like a 9.5, basically.
Yep. Good way to bring it up, Keith. I want to know.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys love this album, right?
Yes. It's a
what
great
makes
record.
it a 9 to you guys?
The only reason it's not a 10 is just because of the really stiff competition this year.
Because of all the
That's
other
fair.
albums that we've
That's
reviewed.
fair.
Yeah.
And for me, like I said, it's a great album, but it's kind of long. It could have been a little bit shorter, but I like the record. And
I was okay with the length with this album only because of the fact that
because it just flowed for you.
it flowed, and it's
Okay.
not like a movie where it has to be relevant. Like an album like this, you can break it off into different parts. It's kind of like you're just getting more to choose from to listen to,
Okay.
Yeah.
But even in its entirety, if you sit down and listen to it all, it did flow enough to where I wasn't feeling like it dragged on well.
Well, see, here's what makes Slug a little bit kind of mysterious in a cool way for me, I guess, and maybe in a crazy way. It's like the lyrics I just read from his album, very thought-provoking and deep and self-explanatory. But then when I listen to tracks like When the Lights Go Out or Fishing Blues, I'm not quite sure what's really going on. It sounds to me the lyrics are kind of abstract. So
I love abstract lyrics, though. I really do love abstract.
Yeah, and there's a thing for that.
For me,
so, yeah.
that works for me.
Yeah, exactly. So, but for me, like, the song Ringo, it's not even about Ringo. So that just kind of, I hate it when he does that. He'll make a rap song and he'll name it this name that has nothing to do with the song. Some folks think that's cool. That drives me nuts. But, I didn't love every song, but I like the album a lot. So that's why it's a 9 for me, not a 10. Every song to me wasn't like, but most of them were.
Okay, yeah. This is one where I'm normally like, well, I really like that song of the album, but I'm having a hard time choosing. Ringo, I actually really enjoyed that one. I mean, I don't know if your beef goes past
I like the song. I just don't like the name of it.
Okay.
So
That's more of the pet peeve variety, yeah.
Yeah, it's
understand.
rare for me. Instead of picking out songs I liked, it would be a shorter list of songs, not even that I didn't like, but just that I didn't like to the high degree of the rest of it.
Right.
Most of it was just so good.
That sounds like 10 words to me. That sounds
But,
like
yeah,
some 10
yeah.
words.
No,
Like-
well, okay. The difference between this and a 10 was any album that I've rated as a 10 has been one of those that's that's done something new. This is just a very, very good Atmosphere album. This is just solid.
Possibly one of the best. Can you give me that?
Possibly one of the best from Atmosphere, who's already very good. So that's setting a bar high. But then we have things like, Stephen Marley or the Claypool Lennon Delirium, or even Ro James's El Dorado. Like these are something different. Something that mashed a couple things together and did it in a new way. And that's why they earn a 10 for me. Again, there's no reason why it wouldn't have a 10 except for the fact that this is comparing to other albums.
Well, and once again, a 9 is a very, very strong rating.
Right.
That's like if you're getting a report card, that's an A, dude.
Exactly.
That's still an A. The 10's an A plus, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I didn't like the song Next to You. I liked the music and the production. I didn't care for the lyrics. It kind of creeped me out. I felt a little uneasy.
I love his delivery though.
Yeah, but I didn't like the lyrics at all. Kind of messed with me a little bit. But otherwise, I enjoyed the rest of the album.
But I just mean atmosphere overall. From when I first started listening, his delivery is insane. Like that song.
Oh yeah.
Always fantastic delivery. He always hits his mark really well.
You believe him when he rhymes. He's speaking from the heart. He's not faking it. You can almost hear it. You can hear the passion and the anger in his voice when he rhymes.
I think that's the thing. He doesn't sound like he's putting up a tough fight. He just sounds like he's being real and honest, which is, I think, the most I can hope for when it comes to music like this.
Who else is like that? That people love a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily his delivery, but it was his conviction. Tupac. People loved his conviction when he rhymed.
Yeah, but his delivery was good too.
Yeah. But they loved the feeling because they like this is you could think like, man, he's really.
I'm glad
that.
you bring up Tupac because I would consider Tupac's Machiavelli album. Or excuse me, I would consider his "Is It Me Against the World" that album a 10.
A great record. Yeah.
And the what separates these two is that one was the original.
Okay,
do you know what I mean?
There it is. I hear you. But yeah, 9 is nothing to.
Nothing to be upset
about. I'd love
about.
to have a 9 rating
Definitely.
out of 10.
It's
So our average is a 9.5 because Jordan's 10 and our 2 9s. That's a 9.5.
Yeah,
basically. So it
just
might
pretty much
be a 10.
Pretty much of most of the albums we've reviewed so far this year, don't miss this one.
Yeah, it's a nice, good album. It was worth waiting 2 years for it.
You guys wait till we do a reunion thing of all of those things that we've talked about.
I know it's going to be harder than it sounds.
It really does because I feel like at least once a week now.
Shows and write down, take our notes. Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, this is a good record though. Definitely
you're right, Keith. That sounds like a lot of work. Never mind, guys. We're not doing a reunion thing. Keith brought up a very excellent point.
You're funny. So this album is great. The Unified Highway is a good album too. Both records I definitely recommend you to check out. So if you want some good new hip hop, get this new Atmosphere record. Yeah. It's cool, it's fun, and like you said, he always hits his mark. He's always sincere. You hear it in his voice. This is their 8th record, so yeah.
I was just talking about it. I just want to listen to some more Atmosphere.
I know. I was just reading a little section here that I love from that song, Everything. He's like, I got the coldest shoulder in the solar system. I know because I drove around this whole existence. Resistance to personal growth seems suspicious. What, you really didn't want to go the distance? I love his placement, his timing for words is really...
It really is. Like, I've got goosebumps just listening to that.
Exactly.
Before we end the show, I want to Desert Island our last 2 episodes. This one and the one before.
What do you mean?
Like of all 4 albums?
All 4 albums, what do you guys think stuck the most?
Okay, well, just to kind of reiterate, last episode we did the games, Block Wars, and we also did...
Young the Giant.
Exactly.
Which, to me, honestly, I feel like it's going to come down to between Young the Giant and Atmosphere. I mean, not to disrespect Unified Highways album, it was great.
Agreed, but it's going to be Atmosphere.
It's going to be Atmosphere. Atmosphere to me, too. So if you guys are ever getting stranded, going on a plane trip, a boat ride, not knowing where that boat or plane will land.
I know. Leave the First Aid Kit at home and take what matters, the Atmosphere album.
The Atmosphere. Thank you, Mariano.
Yes.
Take the Atmosphere album because it is worth it.
Yes.
Oh, Fishing Blues. It also good. Yeah. I would pick it for the Desert Island just because of that.
It's Fishing Blues.
It's relevant, yeah.
And it's long, so you'll have content. You don't know how long you'll be there.
Yeah, Fishing in the Sea of
Life. That's true. I was here for 3 Atmosphere songs long.
There you go.
So that being said, that's the end of our show. As soon as we get off of this, I'm going to listen to some more Atmosphere.
There you go. So, and I wanted to say that thank you. We appreciate everyone who listens to us.
Almost everyone. 99% of you guys we can't get enough of. 1% you know who you are.
I was going to say you know who you are.
Exactly.
Stop it.
And you can always check us out. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. There's Google Play, SoundCloud. GSMCpodcast.com, and you can subscribe to us on iTunes. So I am Captain Keith.
Mariano.
Magnificent Mariano. King Jordan over here.
I'm Amateur Wanderer Jordan.
Yes, Amateur Wanderer. I forgot. Our Wu-Tang rap names.
Admiral, yeah.
Okay, Amateur Wanderer, which is very kung fu. It's strong.
Visual lover.
It sounds
Visual
great.
lover with a Z.
Oh, and Visual lover.
Yeah, and I'm Bitta Dreamer, Bittah Dreamer. So... There you go.
Us Wu-Tang Atmosphere
those are our rap names.
Friends. I guess this is us signing off. So
see you somewhere out in space.
Have a great day.
Yeah.